Good morning. It's a beautiful day here in Phoenix, Arizona. Sun is shining, the sky is blue, birds are singing. Doesn't get any better. Okay, over here, what do we have to play with today? It's a lovely 1974 Norton. It's been restored and it looks really, really nice. You may notice that the timing cover is off. That's because I took it off to have it modified. We'll talk about that. In the meantime, this is a very, very nice looking Norton, and fellow just bought it. We're going to get it running nicely and smooth and do some improvements and make it into a really nice rider. And I say we because the boss is right down here in his bed watching the work. Over here we've laid everything out. These are parts that I've taken off to get into the timing cover. This is a new hydraulic brake line for the front brake. Oil filter, new front pucks, a side stand kit, complete kit for a side stand. The Padronix single phase electronic rectifier regulator to replace the old Zener diodes. This is the timing cover that's been modified by AMR down in Tucson, and a new gasket and new oil seals for the installation. AMR does a modification to this cover where they insert a valve here, very much like the valve that was inserted in the 1975 timing covers, to keep the oil from draining down out of the oil tank into the engine when the bike is parked for a long time. They also do some internal modifications to the oil pump, of which I have no idea they are. I figure it's just magic, but that's part of the conversion. And they give you a complete set of instructions on how to do the reinstallation. And it's a very, very nice package, and they do very, very nice work. That's AMR, Alternative Motorcycle Repair in Tucson, Arizona. Google them if you have a Norton and you'd like to stop the oil from draining down out of your oil bottle into the bottom of the engine when you have the bike parked for a long time. They do magic. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to first put the timing cover on with the new seals, gaskets, and then I will put the side stand on because that's pretty straightforward. And then I'll probably do the Padronix or the brake line, and it's going to be a full day, possibly a little bit more than a day. We'll see. Okay, I'm pretty well prepared to put the timing cover back on. A few things to talk about. I put these back on, torqued to 15 pounds. I put star washers under them. There were no washers underneath when I took it apart, so I put star washers on these, plus Loctite. This is a special O-ring that Mike at AMR supplies with the modified pump to match the modification in the cover. And this is a little Allen screw, or as my British friends call it, a grub screw, that goes in and blocks off this oil passage. Once again, I'm not sure why, but it's part of Mike's modification, so I do as I'm told. This is important. Okay, this is very important. This is a special tool on the end of the crankshaft points shaft. It's a tapered tool that lets you put the seal over it without catching the lip of the seal. If you catch the lip of the seal, you've got about a 50-50 chance that it'll turn the seal inside out and you'll leak oil. So when you have the cover off, you need this tool in order to put it back on safely and get a good oil seal. So this guy's all ready to go. This is a new seal. Notice I've greased it up just to make it slip. This is a new oil seal. I've greased it up just to make it slip. Now it just goes in with the seal inside, so it's going to be a smooth entry no matter what. This one is the only one you have to worry about turning backwards. Okay, so that's where we are. We're ready. I've cleaned the gasket surfaces. New gasket, anaerobic gasket sealer. And this is a spare O-ring. Mike always provides a spare one. I think that's kind of cool. And I'm getting ready to put this together, and I will simply pop it in place, they say, and do all the screws. So that's where we are. Okay, we're about ready to pop on the timing cover. I've got the gasket in place. I just finger gasket sealer all around like this on the gasket. And it's all ready to go on. We've got the special tapered tool to protect this oil seal. The extra grub screws in place. The cover is here. I've taken the safety wire off of the hand grenade pin. This gets pulled to release the valve once the unit is on the bike. Over here I've set up the case screws, which I polished by size, and only Norton would use so many different sizes, I swear. So anyway, we're ready to pop that on. So Kevin, flip that sucker vertical and
don't pull the pin.
Don't pull the pin. Or if you do,
run. Yeah. I gotta leave. Mom's calling.
Okay, if you pull that pin, I'm gonna fling myself on it. Just okay.
Easy as pie.
Yeah, easy as pie. Snap flat. Give it a good smack. Get it to flatten down.
Yep.
There you go. We are in.
Yep.
Okay, now at this point, we can either put in all the screws or pull the pin. And I'm going to pull the pin.
Okay.
You might pull it wrong.
That's right. God forbid.
Okay. Yeah. So here goes the pin, and the little ball valve has just been released and is now sealing off the oil pump. Once again, here's the tapered tool sticking through the seal, so we can take that out now. If I didn't have a lot of grease on it, I'd take it out now.
Here, I got it.
You got a screwdriver?
I got it.
Oh, good. All right, we'll take that out now. And we will go ahead and install all the screws. So I will pick this video up after we tighten down all the mounting screws. Okay, we've got the bike jacked up in the air. We have the piston at 28 degrees before top dead center. I'll see if I can get in here and show you. That's too much lighter, not enough. Anyway, 28 degrees before top dead center. I just noticed that we need covers over that front isoelastic. Okay, just now noticed that. So anyway, walking around here, Kevin has got the rotor and the buoyer sitting here. So we're going to put this in and mark it. We'll probably put the rotor in first.
Yes, but see, I marked it so that we know where the rotor would go. See, you centered it.
You dreamer.
Yeah, no.
You dreamer.
No.
That's got to go on now.
I know, but that means the white lines up with that.
Okay, well, we'll see what we see.
Oh, you non-believers kill me.
You think you did it right?
As long as you put the white dot in the right place, I did it right.
Okay, so you're using that.
That line is the place to line up the rotor.
Okay. Okay, just snug it and see how it goes.
Yep.
Right now, show me how they're going to set the plate in there now.
Oh, damn, I missed.
Oh, it's the wrong hole.
Oh, okay.
This is a Norton.
I know it's a Norton. What do you mean it's the wrong hole?
If in the way I always put them for some reason, this is the hole you use for
okay.
Triumphs. That's the hole you use for Nortons.
And you want it down here.
Well, I just do that. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
Rotation
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Gotcha. Okay.
Especially on these. But this is the hole you use for Norton. So line it up there and see what you see.
So Norton's anti-clockwise.
Yes.
That's my mistake.
As is
BSA.
BSA, yeah.
Okay, I thought it was clockwise. There you go.
So
Theory was good, but the execution was poor.
you didn't actually know. Well, it's because they both got dots on them.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
So you were
I had to
good.
but I had to loosen it anyway.
Okay. So now,
Okay, so we want this.
yeah, that's the hole you use for
Yep.
Nortons.
Okay.
And my choice of putting it down in the lower left is arbitrary. It's 20 years of
Gotcha.
habit.
Gotcha. Yep. Well, habit's not a bad thing. We're centered. A bit more. Center it.
Good. So we got the plate centered
Yep.
on the adjusters up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have the little white dot in this hole here, for which you use for Nortons and BSAs. And you can tighten that down, and that will give us timing that's close enough so that we'll be able to start the bike, and then we will do the fine adjustment with the strobe light when we do the timing with the light. So at this point, we can do something else until we get ready to start the bike. So when the bike came in, we noticed it did not have a side stand. It does have a center stand, so we've been using that. We just put it up here on the lift and I bought a side stand kit for it. And as soon as I looked at the mount, I realized the mount for this side stand has been bent. And it's supposed to stick straight out here at an angle about like this. And it's not, it's way up here. You can see that the side stand is coming out basically flat and level. We'll roll the bike back and show you, but it's going to be like about 90 degrees to the left. Right off the top of my head, we've got two solutions. One is install it like this, take the side stand, heat it, and bend it down at about an angle like this. Normally, these side stands on the lift will come down here and just barely miss the lift right about here. So it's got to be bent a lot. That's one quick option. Now that would put the side stand one back, sticking down quite a ways, like as far as this. So that's not great. The second thing is I have a pretty good machinist, and I can ask him if he can make an adapter that will bolt on here, extend out here, and bend down at about a 45-degree angle that we can then put the side stand on. It'll move the side stand outboard, but it will at least give us the right angle. So that's where we are. We're going to roll the bike back now and just demonstrate how far it will lean over. But this is not going to work as is. We're going to have to do something to make this side stand work. Okay. Frankly, Nortons need a side stand. They're just too darn heavy to use the center stand all the time. Okay, Kevin is straddling the bike. We've rolled it back out of the vise, and I consulted with the boss. He said you're crazy. So what we're going to do now is just show. Kevin's not even going to allow it to go all the way over. It's way too far already. Yeah. That's about as dangerous as you want to get. Yeah. So we need to change the angle of the dangle on that side stand. It's got to come down about 6 inches. So I think the proper way is to get my machinist to build the adapter, and I'm going to contact him and have him take a look at this. Wow. Hey John, this bike came in with no side stand, so I bought a side stand kit and started to install it, and realized that the reason it doesn't have a side stand is because the mount on the frame, which is welded to the frame, and part of the frame has been bent. And this mount, which is sticking out horizontally, is supposed to be at about a 45-degree angle. It's welded to the frame. I'm not going to go near this bike with a hot torch to try to unbend it. So I'm going to show you how this thing is sticking out basically horizontal. And now Kevin's going to show you the angle that we need, roughly. This needs to go down to just about touching the lift. So we need to have an adapter made that will bolt on to the horizontal mount that's welded to the frame, stick out about an inch, and then allow me to mount the side stand onto the adapter. Let me know if this is something you'd be willing to look into for us. It might need a 1 or 2 tries to get it exactly right, but I'd like to talk to you about making us an adapter for this. Okay? Give me a holler. Thank you. Okay, it's been a good day. Got the timing cover installed. We have the initial timing set. I just checked the spark, and we had good spark when I kicked the bike over by hand. Wiring has been all modified to get rid of a whole bunch of extra wires that just aren't needed anymore. We made new wires going down to the magnetic pickup that are color coded correctly instead of those red and black ones. So that helps. Walking around the bike on this side, had good spark over here. Wiring up under the center of the bike is nicely cleaned up. The battery is installed and wired. We have a fuse here in line. Took out some extra wires back here that are no longer needed. I'm sorry, on the other side, I forgot to show you that we installed the Podronics solid state rectifier regulator unit. It's right there. It goes directly to the alternator and directly to the battery. That's why there are a lot of wires that are just flat not needed anymore. So that's installed. Coming over here, not much more to show you on this side of the bike. I've got a charger on the battery. It's been on there about 4 hours, and the battery is still testing weak. And I'm going to let this thing charge overnight and see what happens. So we'll check it again tomorrow with a load tester. Here's the load tester. It's basically a battery tester. You put it on there and you check for anything above weak is good on a motorcycle battery. This one was going marginally bad, so we'll see how that works out. Over here, these are wires that I took out of the bike that are no longer needed. The old rectifier and the old Zener diode no longer needed. Those are out. This is a new oil filter I'm about to put on. I always inscribe the date and sometimes remember to inscribe the mileage. So we'll put this on in just a second. This is the hydraulic line for the front brake, and these are the new brake pads that we're going to install tomorrow. We should be able to do a first start tomorrow and see how the bike runs. First a compression check, then start it up to see how it goes. So we will do a follow-up tomorrow to let you know what's happening.